Okay, let's talk about one of the most brilliant, and let's be real, one of the most intimidating minds in history, Saint Thomas Aquinas. We're going to dive in and see how a single key can basically unlock his entire world.
You know that feeling, right? You get super excited to read some classic philosophy, you're ready to tackle the big questions, and then, like 2 pages in, you're just completely lost.
Yeah, you are definitely not alone. It feels like the language is from another planet, the ideas are a total maze, and you're sitting there thinking, man, I need some kind of secret decoder ring just to get my foot in the door.
And, there's probably no one who embodies this challenge more than Aquinas. He's an absolute genius, no question about it. But his work, it can feel like it's locked behind a gate, guarded by someone who only speaks in riddles.
So, who was this guy really? Well, Thomas Aquinas was an Italian priest back in the 13th century. They even nicknamed him the Angelic Doctor. And his mission in life? It was monumental. He wanted to build a whole system of thought that could bring together Christian faith and pure, hard reason, especially the ideas of Aristotle. His masterpiece, the Summa Theologia, is seriously one of the most influential books ever, and his way of thinking, called Thomism, is still a huge deal in philosophy and theology today.
And look, this isn't just you or me feeling this way. This quote right here is from the author Isaac Volpe. He makes it clear that even people who want to get into Aquinas find his work, dense, unfamiliar, pretty much impenetrable. So yeah, if you've ever felt that way, you are in very, very good company.
But what if there was a key, a tool made for one single purpose, to unlock that dense language and swing the gates to his world wide open?
Well, here it is. This is that key, the Saint Thomas Aquinas Dictionary by Isaac Volpe. It's a new resource designed to do exactly that.
And I gotta say, I love how the author describes it as a focus tool, because that's what it is. This isn't some other 1,000-page book that's just as complicated as the thing it's trying to explain. Nope. It's a practical, straightforward dictionary. It's built for one thing, clarity. It gives you the essential ideas you need to get, and it gives them to you fast.
Okay, so how does it actually work? Let's take this thing for a spin. We're going to look at a couple of the core ideas in Aquinas' whole system. And trust me, this is where it gets really cool.
All right, first up, Act and Potency. This one is huge. It's totally fundamental to everything he says. So, simply put, potency is just potential. The potential to be or to become something. Think of a block of marble. It has the potency to become a statue. It's not a statue yet, but the potential is there. Act, then, is when that potential becomes real. The finished statue? That's the marble in a state of act. And for Aquinas, pretty much all change in the entire universe is just this simple move from potential to actual.
And this is a perfect example of how the dictionary helps. Right after you get that clear, simple definition, boom, you get a quote straight from Aquinas himself. It shows you the power of the idea. I mean, think about it. The marble can't just turn itself into a statue, right? It needs something that's already in act, like a sculptor with a chisel, to make that potential real. And this one simple idea, it becomes the engine for his famous arguments for God as the first mover, the one pure act that started everything.
Okay, let's do one more. This one is just as mind-bending. Essence and existence. So essence is the whatness of a thing. It's the blueprint, the definition. Existence is just the simple fact that it is. For example, I can describe the essence of a unicorn, horse, single horn, the whole deal, but that doesn't mean it actually exists. And for Aquinas, in basically everything in creation, there's a huge difference between its whatness and its isness.
And again, the quote just hits it home. This distinction is so important because it's the bedrock for his arguments about God. Because for him, God is the only being where essence and existence are the exact same thing. God's very nature is to be. It's a heavy concept for sure, but once again, the dictionary just lays out this super complex but crucial idea and makes it totally clear.
So you see how these ideas start to connect? They're not just random philosophical puzzles. No, they are the literal building blocks for Aquinas' one massive project, bringing faith and reason together.
See, for Aquinas, faith and reason were never enemies, not at all. He saw them as two different roads that lead to the exact same place, truth. You've got reason, or ratio, which is all the stuff we can figure out with our own minds, using logic and looking at the world. And then you have faith, or fides, which is about accepting truths that have been revealed by God. And here's the key. Those truths might go beyond our reason, but they never, ever contradict it.
And this one quote, man, it just sums up everything he was about. Faith does not destroy reason, but completes it. It's so good. Faith isn't there to throw reason out the window. It's there to fulfill it. It takes everything reason can discover and just elevates it, pointing it to something bigger that reason on its own could never quite reach.
Look, what we've just touched on, it's just a tiny, tiny glimpse of this incredible world that Aquinas built. And trying to walk through it alone can be, well, pretty tough. So think of this as your personal invitation to get the guide.
Because a tool like this dictionary, it's what lets you finally crack open those dense concepts. It makes his language make sense, but without dumbing it down. It gives you the power to really read him, to even argue with him intelligently, and most importantly, to build a solid foundation so you can actually think with him on a much deeper level. So if any of these ideas have piqued your interest, if this huge project of bringing together what we believe with what we can know sounds cool to you, then honestly, this dictionary is the absolute perfect place to start. And to make it easy, we've dropped a link to buy the book right in the description below. It's your chance to grab that key we've been talking about and start unlocking this amazing world for yourself.
Which really just leaves us with one last big question. With the right tool in your hand, with a clear guide, just imagine what you could discover by thinking alongside one of the greatest minds who ever lived.